She'll live.
Thank God.
You're a pair of lucky parents. I can tell you now I thought you wouldn't.
Nonsense! The child's a killer. She has the constitution of a goat. She'll outlive us all.
Yes. Especially if some of you Kellers don't get a good night's sleep. I mean you, Mrs. Keller.
You hear, Katie?
I hear.
I brought up 2 of them, but this is my wife's first. She isn't battle scars yet.
Oh, Doctor, don't be merely considerate. Will my girl be all right?
Oh, by morning she'll be knocking down Captain Keller's fences.
And isn't there anything else we should do?
Put up stronger fencing, huh?
Just let her get well. She knows how to do it better than we do. The main thing is the fever's gone. These things come and go in infants. Never know why. Call it acute congestion of the stomach and brain.
I'll see you to your buggy, Doctor.
I've never seen a baby. What vitality? That's the truth.
Oh, hush, don't you cry now. You've been trouble enough. Oh, call it acute congestion indeed. I don't see what's so cute about a congestion, just because it's yours. Oh, we'll have your father run an editorial in his paper. Oh, the wonders of modern medicine. They don't know what they're curing, even when they cure it. Men and their battle scars. We women will have to. We'll have to. Helen? Helen? Captain, will you come? Captain!
Katie, what's wrong?
Look!
What, Katie? She's well. She needs
can't
only time
see.
to...
Look at her eyes. She can't see.
Helen?
Or here. When I screamed, she didn't blink. Not an eyelash.
Helen?
She can't hear you.
Helen!
First, I'm gonna cut up this doctor's legs. 1, 2. Now then, why are you cutting off that doctor's legs? I'm gonna give him an operation. Now I'm gonna cut off his arms. 1, 2. Now I'm gonna fix up. You stop that. Cut off the stomach. That's a good operation. No, I'm gonna cut off his head first. He got a bad cold. Ain't gonna mess with Dr. Left once he finishes those operations. What do you do? Bite her hand? That's how I do it. She's sticking her fingers in my mouth. I'm just gonna bite them off. What's she trying to do now? She trying to talk. She gonna get mad. Look at her trying to talk. Hey, you stop that. You just sitting quiet, Ann. Help! Help!
Helen, let me have those scissors.
She's only dug Martha's eyes out. Almost dug. It's always almost. No point worrying until it happens, is there?
How does she stand it? Why haven't you seen this Baltimore man? It's not a thing you can let go, oh no, like the weather.
The weather here doesn't ask permission of me, Aunt Ev. Speak to my father.
Arthur, something ought to be done for that child.
A refreshing suggestion. What?
Why, this very famous oculist in Baltimore I wrote to you about. What was his name?
Dr. Chisholm.
Oh yes, I've heard plenty of cases of blindness people thought couldn't be cured. He's cured. He just does wonders. Why don't you write to him?
I've stopped believing in wonders.
I think the captain will write to him soon. Won't you, Captain?
No. Good money after bad. Or bad after good. Or bad after bad.
Well, if it's just a question of money, Arthur, now you're marshalling this Yankee money, you might...
Not money. The child's been to specialists all over Alabama and Tennessee. If I thought it would do good, I'd have it every fool doctor in the country.
I think the captain will write to him soon.
Katie, how many times can you let them break your heart?
Any number of times.
What?
As long as there's the least chance for her to see or hear
There
is
isn't.
normal.
Now let me finish here.
I think, with your permission, Captain, I'd like to write.
I said no, Katie.
Why, writing does no harm, Arthur. It's only a little bitty letter to see if it can help her.
He can't.
We won't know that to be a fact, Captain, until after you write.
Katie! He can't! Father stands up. That makes it a fact. You be quiet! I'm badgering enough here about females without your impudence. Oh, Katie! Might as well try to work in the hen yard as in this house.
You really ought to put her away, Father.
What?
Some asylum. It's the kindest thing.
What? She's your sister, James, not a nobody.
Have sister and half mentally defective. She can't even keep herself clean. It's not pleasant to see her about all the time.
Do you dare complain of what you can see?
This discussion is at an end. I'll thank you not to broach it again, Dave. I've done as much as I can bear. I can't get my whole life to it. The house is at 6s and 7s from morning till night over the child. It's time some attention was paid to Mildred here instead.
You'll wake her up, Captain.
I want some peace in this house. I don't care how, but one way we won't have it is by rushing up and down the country every time someone hears of a new quack. I'm as sensible to this affliction as anyone else. It hurts me to look at the girl.
It was not our affliction I meant you to write about, Captain.
Helen, my buttons!
What? She wants the doll to have eyes.
My goodness me, I'm not decent.
Oh, she doesn't know any better, Aunt Eva. I'll sew them on again.
Never learn with everyone letting her do anything. She takes it into her mind.
You be quiet!
What did I say now?
You talk too much.
I was agreeing with you.
Whatever it was. Deprived child. At least she can have the little things she wants.
It's worth a couple of buttons, Kate. Look. This child has more sense than all these man killers if there's any way to reach that mind of hers.
Helen!
Helen, you're not to do such things! How can I make you understand?
Katie.
How can I get it into your head? My darling, my poor!
Katie's somewhere teaching her an iota of discipline.
How can you discipline an afflicted child? Is it her fault?
I didn't say it was her fault.
Then whose? I don't know what to do. How can I teach her? Beat her until she's black and blue?
It's not safe to let her run around loose. Now, there must be some way of confining her.
Where? In a cage? She's a growing child. She has to use her limbs.
Answer me one thing. Is it fair to Mildred here?
Are you willing to put her away?
Now what?
She wants to be like you and me. Every day she slips further and further away, and I don't know how to call her back.
Oh, I've a mind to take her up to Baltimore myself. If that doctor can't help her, maybe he'll know who can.
All right, the man, Katie.
Do nothing for the girl, of course. It was a Dr. Bell who thought she might somehow be taught. I've written the family only that a suitable governess, Miss Annie Sullivan, has been found here in Boston and will come. It will no doubt be difficult for you there, Annie. But it has been difficult for you here at our school, too, Gratifying, yes, when you came to us and could not spell your own name to accomplish so much here in just a few years. But always an Irish battle for independence. This is my last time to counsel you, Annie, and you do lack some, and by some I mean all, what tact or talent to bend to others. And what has saved you on more than one occasion here at Perkins is that there was nowhere to expel you to. Your eyes hurt?
My ears, Dr. Nagnos.
Nowhere but back to Tewksbury, where they teach children to be saucy. Annie, I know how dreadful it was for you there. But that battle is dead and done with. Why not let it stay buried?
I think God must owe me a resurrection.
What?
Well, he keeps digging up that battle.
That is not a proper thing to say, Annie. It is what I mean.
Yes. But I know what I'm like. What's this child like?
Like?
Well, bright or dull to start off.
Nobody knows. And if she is dull, you have no patience with this.
Oh, and children, in grown-ups you have to, Dr. Anagnos. I mean, in children it just seems a little precocious. Can I use that word?
Only if you can spell it.
Premature. So I hope at least she's a bright one.
Deaf, blind, mute, who knows? She's like a little safe locked that no one can open. Perhaps there is a treasure inside.
Perhaps it's empty too.
Possible. I must warn you, she's much given to tantrums.
Means something is inside. Well, so am I, if I believe all I hear. Maybe you should warn them.
Annie, I wrote them no word of your history. You will find yourself among strangers now who know nothing of it.
Well, we'll keep them in a state of blessed ignorance.
Perhaps you should tell them.
Why? I have enough trouble with people who don't know.
So they will understand when you have trouble.
The only time I have trouble is when I'm right. Is it my fault it's so often? I won't give them trouble, Dr. Anagnos. I'll be so ladylike they won't notice I've come.
Annie, be humble. It is not as if you have so many offers to pick and choose. You will need their affection working with this child.
I hope I won't need their pity.
We could all use some pity. So, you are no longer a pupil. We throw you into the world a teacher if the child can be taught. No one expects you to work miracles, Annie, even for $25 a month. Oh, now in this envelope, a loan for the railroad, which you will repay me when you have a bank account. But in this box, a gift with our love. I think other friends are ready to say goodbye now.
Dr. Anagnos. Dear Dr. Anagnos, Well, what should I say? I'm an ignorant, opinionated girl, and everything I am I owe to you.
That is only half true, Annie.
Which half? I crawled in here like a drowned rat. I thought I died when Jimmy died, that I'd never again come alive. Well, you say with love, so easy, and I haven't loved a soul since, and I never will, I suppose. But this place gave me more than my eyes back, or taught me how to spell, which I'll never learn anyway. But with all the fights and the trouble I've been here, it taught me what help is, and how to live again. And I don't want to say goodbye. Don't open the door. I'm crying.
They will not see.
Annie?
Here, Beatrice.
There's a present. We thought you were going away, Cousin Annie.
Oh, no, you shouldn't have.
We wanted to.
Don't go, Annie. Away.
Where's the present? Who has it?
I have it. I have it, everybody. Should I open it?
Yes! Is it open, Annie?
It's open.
It's for your eyes, Annie. Put them on. 'Cause Mrs. Hopkins said your eyes hurt since the operation. And she said you're going where the sun is fierce.
I'm putting them on now.
Don't go, Annie, or the sun is fierce.
Did they fit all right?
Oh, they fit just fine.
Did you put them on?
Are they pretty, Annie?
Oh, my eyes feel 100% better already. And pretty. Why, do you know how I look in them? Splendiloquent, like a racehorse.
There's another present.
We have a present for Helen, too. Give it to her. Here, Annie.
It's for Helen, and we took up a collection to buy it, and Laura dressed it.
It's beautiful.
So don't forget, you be sure to give it to Helen from us, Annie.
I promise it'll be the first thing I give her. If I don't keep it for myself, that is. You know I can't be trusted with dolls.
Don't go, Annie. To her.
Sarah, dear, I don't want to go.
Then why are you going?
Because I'm a big girl now, and big girls have to earn a living. It's the only way I can. But if you don't smile for me first, what I'll just have to do is
What?
put you in my suitcase instead of just and take you down in Alabama.
Come, children, we must get the trunk into the carriage and Annie into the train, or no one will be going to Alabama. Come, come.
Bye, Annie.
Sullivan, age 9, virtually blind. James Sullivan, age 7. What's the matter with your legs, sonny?
Forever and ever.
Can't he walk without that crutch? Girl goes to the women's ward, boy to the men's.
Hey, don't take me. Hey!
Annie!
Coming.
You let Mr. Jimmy go by himself, Miss Kate. You've been poking that garden all day, and you ought to rest your feet.
I can't wait to see her, Viney.
Maybe she ain't on this train either.
Maybe she is.
And maybe she ain't.
And maybe she is. Oh, where's Helen?
She's upstairs, smelling around. She knows something funny's going on.
I'll give her her supper as soon as Mildred's in bed, and tell the captain we'll be delayed tonight.
Again?
I don't think we need to say again. Simply delayed will do.
I just mean that's what he's gonna say. What? Again?
Yes, we're expecting someone. Someone from my Helen. Oh dear, this was cleaned an hour ago. Here, for while I'm gone. I don't think one peppermint drop will spoil your supper.
Jimmy?
Sir?
You don't look dressed for anything useful, boy.
I'm not. It's for Miss Sullivan.
He'd keep holding up that porch. We have wooden posts for that. I asked you to see that those strawberry plants were moved this evening.
I'm moving your Mrs. Keller instead to the station.
Mrs. Keller. Must you always speak of her as if you haven't met the lady?
Mother! I said mother.
Captain,
Evening, my dear.
we're off to meet the train captain. Supper will be a trifle delayed tonight.
What, again?
With your permission, Captain.
What you want, honey? Your mama? One little tea cake ain't gonna ruin your appetite.
She's gone. She's gone. My son and I don't get along. You don't harm your father. No one likes me, and supper's delayed. Here. I brought you some stick candy. One nibble of sweets can't do any harm.
Captain Keller, how am I supposed to get her to eat her supper when you fill her up with that trash?
Attend to your work. Go!
Miss Sullivan?
Here. At last. I've been on trains so many days, I thought they must be back up
I'm
every
James
time.
Keller.
James? I had a brother, Jimmy. Are you Helen's?
I'm only half a brother. You're to be her governess?
Well, try.
You look like half a governess. Ah, Mrs. Keller, Miss Sullivan.
We've met every train for 2 days.
I changed trains every time they stopped. The man that sold me that ticket ought to be tied to the
You have a
tracks.
trunk, Miss Sullivan?
Yes. You didn't bring Helen. I was hoping you would.
Oh no, she's home.
You live far from town, Mrs. Keller?
Only a mile.
Well, I suppose I can wait one more mile. But don't be surprised if I get out there push the horse.
Helen's waiting for you, too. There's been such a bustle in the house, she's expecting something. Heaven knows what. I expected a desiccated spinster. You're very young.
Oh, you should have seen me when I left Boston. I got much older on this trip.
I mean to teach anyone as difficult as Helen.
I mean to try. They can't put you in jail for trying.
Is it possible even to teach a deaf, blind child half of what an ordinary child learns? Has that ever been done?
Half?
A tenth?
No. Dr. Howe did wonders, but an ordinary child? No, never. But then I thought when I was going over his reports, he never treated them like ordinary children. More like eggs. Everyone was afraid would break.
May I ask how old you are?
Well, I'm not in my teens, you know. I'm 20.
All of 20.
Mrs. Keller, don't lose heart just because I'm not on my last legs. I have 3 big advantages over Dr. Howe that money couldn't buy for you. One is his work behind me. I read every word he wrote about, and he wasn't exactly what you'd call a man of few words. Another is to be young. Why, I've got the energy to do anything. The third is, I've been blind.
Advantages.
Well, some have the luck of the Irish, some do not.
What will you try to teach her first?
First, last, and in between, language.
Language?
Language is to the mind more than life is to the eye. Dr. Howe said that.
Language? We can't get through to teach her to sit still. You are young, despite your years, to have such confidence. Do you inside?
No. To tell you the truth, I'm as shaky inside as a baby's rattle.
Don't be. We'll do all we can to help them make you feel at home. Don't think of us as strangers, Miss Annie.
Oh, strangers aren't so strange to me. I've known them all my life.
Captain Keller! Captain Keller, they come in! She sure enough came, Captain.
Welcome to Ivy Green, Miss Sullivan. I trust you are, Miss
Oh,
Sullivan.
my husband, Miss Annie, Captain Keller.
Captain, how do you do?
Pleasure to see you at last. I trust you had an agreeable journey.
Oh, I had several. When did this country get so big?
Where would you like the trunk, Father?
Where Miss Sullivan can get at it, I imagine.
Yes, please. Where's Helen?
She's on the porch. Jimmy!
We put you in the upstairs corner room, Miss Annie. If there's any breeze at all this summer, you'll feel it.
And the suitcase.
I'll take the suitcase, thanks.
Nonsense, I haven't.
I'd like it.
I couldn't think of it. You'll find in the South we treat
Let
women
me.
as the flowers of civilization.
I've got something in it for Helen. Thank you. When do I see her?
There. There is Helen.
Katie.
Well,
She's very rough, Kitty.
I like her, Captain.
Certainly we're a peculiar kind of young woman in the North. How old is she?
Oh, well, she's not in her teens, you know.
She's just a child. What's the family like, shipping her off alone this far?
I couldn't learn. She's very close-mouthed about some things.
Why does she wear those glasses? I like to look a person in the
For
eye.
the sun, she was blind.
Blind.
She's had 9 operations on her eyes. One just before she left.
Blind. Good heavens, they expect one blind child to teach another? Has she experienced at least? How long did she teach them?
She was a pupil.
This is her first position?
Oh, well, she was valedictorian, you know.
Here's a house full of grown-ups can't go with a child. How can an inexperienced, half-blind Yankee schoolgirl manage her?
Great improvement. Now we have 2 of them to look after.
You look after those strawberry plants.
Nothing I say is right.
Why say anything? Don't be long, Captain. We'll have supper right away.
All the trouble I went to, and that's how I look? Oh no, not the drawers. All right, Miss O'Sullivan, let's begin with Dawn. D. O. L. N. Dawn.
You spell pretty well. Finding out if she's ticklish, and she is. What is it, a game?
An alphabet
Alphabet?
for the deaf. Oh, how bright she is.
You think she knows what she's doing? She imitates everything. She's a little monkey.
Yes, she's a bright little monkey, all right.
She wants her doll back.
When she spells it,
Spell? She doesn't know the thing has a name, even.
of course not. Who expects her to now? All I want is her fingers to learn the letters.
Won't mean anything to her. Doesn't like that alphabet, Miss Sullivan. You invented yourself?
Spanish monks under a vow of silence, which I wish you'd take. C. Cake from Washington up north is the best I can do. C. A. K. E. Do as my fingers do, never mind what it means. Get it done fast. Maybe I'll steal that back too. Now. D. O. L. L. Think it over. L. Imitates now, understand later. And does first. Ah! Little wretch. No one has taught you any manners. Helen? Helen! Helen, let's be out of.
Hello, girls, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo girls, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo girls, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Don't worry. They'll find you. You're not lost. Only out of place.
body to get any sleep in this damn ward.
Shut up, you.
And when I go home, you promise.
Jimmy,
Forever. You said forever. Annie, you there? Annie, it hurts. Annie!
Little girl, I must tell you, your brother will be going on.
Supper is ready, Jimmy. Will you call your father?
Certainly. Father, supper.
No need to shout. I've been cooling my heels for an hour. Sit down.
Certainly.
Buddy!
Yes, Captain. Right here.
Oh, Mildred's in bed, Vani.
Oh, yes, that baby's an angel.
And Helen's had a good supper.
I don't know, Miss Kate. She didn't seem to have much of an appetite tonight.
Oh, dear.
Well, now, couldn't say the same for my part. I'm famished. Katie, your plate?
But where's Miss Annie?
Oh, in her room.
In her room. Doesn't she know hot food must be eaten hot? Go bring her down at once, Jimmy.
Certainly. I'll get a ladder.
What?
I'll need a ladder. Shouldn't take me long.
What shouldn't take you very
Jimmy,
long?
do as I say. Go upstairs at once and tell me...
She's locked in her room.
Locked in her room?
What on earth are you talking about?
Helen locked her in and made off with the key.
And you sit here and say nothing?
Well, everyone's been telling me not to say anything.
Vani, look out in the back for Helen. See if she has that key.
She's out front. Miss Sullivan, are you in there?
oh, I'm in here all right.
Is there no key on your side?
Well, if there was a key in here, I wouldn't be in here. Helen took it. The only thing on my side is me.
Miss Sullivan, not in the house. 10 minutes, I don't see how you managed it.
And even I'm not on my side.
Vani!
Yes, Captain.
Put that meat back in the oven.
Yes, Captain.
She has no key.
Nonsense, she must have it. Have you searched the pockets?
Yes, she doesn't have it.
Katie, she must have the key.
Would you prefer to search her yourself, Captain?
No, I would not prefer to search her myself. She nearly took off my kneecap this evening when I tried to meal. Take that ladder back!
Certainly.
She could have hidden it somewhere.
Where?
Anywhere. Under a stone, in the grass, in the straw.
I kept out the entire ground to search for that missing key. Jimmy,
Sir.
bring me a ladder.
Certainly.
Vani, what is Mildred doing up?
Cap woke her up, man, with all that hollering.
Miss Sullivan,
Yes, Captain Keller?
come out.
I don't see how I can. There isn't room.
I intend to carry you. Climb onto my shoulder and hold on.
Oh, no, it's very chivalrous of you, but I'd really prefer it.
Miss Sullivan, follow instructions. I will not have you also tumbling out of our windows. I hope this is not a sample of what we are to expect from you in the way of simplifying the work of looking after Helen.
Captain Keller, I'm perfectly able to go down a ladder.
I doubt it. Simply climb on and hold on to my neck. My neck, Miss Sullivan!
I'm sorry to inconvenience you this way.
No inconvenience, other than having that door taken down in the locker place should we fail to find the key.
Oh, I'll look everywhere for it.
Thank you. Be sure not to look in any rooms that can be locked. There.
Thank you very much.
Go! Back to your work! What are you looking at here? There's nothing to look at here. Now, would it be possible for us to have supper? Like other people?
Vani, sir, supper. I'll put Mildred to sleep.
Might as well leave the L-A-D-D-E-R.
I'm so easily gotten rid of? You have a thing or two to learn first. I have nothing else to do, and nowhere to go. here has attempted to control her. The greatest problem I have is how to discipline her without breaking her spirit. But I shall insist on reasonable obedience from the start. Ink. Ink. It has a name. Down, under, up. And be careful of the needle. Fine. You keep out of the ink, and perhaps I can keep out of the soup. These blots are her handiwork. All right, let's try temperance. Bad girl. Good girl. Very good girl.
What are you saying to her?
Oh, I was just making conversation, saying it was a sewing card.
But does that mean that to her?
No, she won't know what spelling is till she knows what a word is.
And when will she learn?
Maybe after 1,000,001 words.
Other children are not impaired, Miss Annie.
Oh, there's nothing impaired in that head. It works like a mousetrap.
What did she spell?
I spelled card. She spelled cake. No, it's only a finger game to her. What she has to learn first is that things have names.
And after how many words, Miss Annie? 1,000,000?
I guess no mother's ever minded enough to count.
It's her bedtime. I'm sorry, Miss Annie.
Why does she get a reward? For stabbing me?
Oh, well, we catch our flies with honey around here, I'm afraid. We haven't the heart for much else, and so many times you just cannot be compelled.
Guess I'm the same way myself. The more I think, the more certain I am that obedience is the gateway through which knowledge enters the mind of the child.
Breakfast ready.
No, but shouldn't we give the devil his due, Father? The fact is, we lost the South 2 years earlier when he outfought us behind Vicksburg.
Outthought is a peculiar word for a butcher.
Harness maker, wasn't he?
I said butcher. His only virtue as a soldier was numbers, and he led them to slaughter with no more regard than for so many sheep.
Yes, but even if in that sense he was a butcher, the fact
And a
is...
drunken one, half the war.
Agreed, Father. If his own people said he was, I can hardly argue.
And what is it you find to admire in such a man, Jimmy? The butchery or the drunkenness?
Neither, Father. Only the fact that he beat us.
He didn't.
Is it your contention we won the war, sir?
He didn't beat us at Vicksburg. We lost Vicksburg because Pemberton gave Bragg 5,000 of his cavalry, and Loring, whom I knew personally for nincompoop before you were born, marched away from Champions Hill with enough men to recover. We lost Vicksburg by stupidity verging on treason.
I would have said we lost Vicksburg because Grant was one thing no Yankee general was before him.
Drunk? I doubt it.
Obstinate.
Obstinate. Could any of them compare even in that with old Stonewall? If he'd have been there, we'd still have Vicksburg.
Well, the butcher simply wouldn't give up. He tried 4 ways of getting around Vicksburg, and on the 5th try he got around. Anyone else would have...
He wouldn't have got around if we'd had a Southerner in command instead of a half-breed Yankee traitor like Pemberton. What's the matter there?
Oh, Mr. Annie, you see she's accustomed to helping herself from our plates to anything she
Yes,
wants.
but I'm not accustomed to it.
No, of course not. Bonnie!
Give her something, Jimmy, to quiet her.
But her table manners are the best she has. Well,
Bonnie, I'm afraid what Captain Keller says is only too true. She'll persist in this until she gets her own way.
Bonnie, bring Miss Sullivan another plate.
I have a place, thank you.
you see why they took Vicksburg.
Miss Sullivan, one plate or another is hardly a man in a struggle with a deprived child about.
Oh, I'd sooner have a more heroic issue.
No, I really must insist that you would... Oh, now she's hurt herself.
No, she hasn't.
Won't you let her hands go?
Miss Annie, please, I don't think you know the child well enough yet.
I know an ordinary tantrum well enough when I see one in a badly spoiled child.
Here.
If you had more understanding of your pupil, Miss Sullivan, you would have some pity in you. Now kindly do as I say.
Pity? For this tyrant? The whole house turns on her whims. Is there anything she wants that she doesn't get? I'll tell you what I pity. That the sun won't rise and set for all her life, and every day you're telling her it will. What good will your pity do her when you're under the strawberries, Captain Keller?
Katie, for the love of heaven, will you?
Annie, please. I don't think it serves to lose our
It
tempers.
does you good, that's all. It's less trouble to feel sorry for her than to teach her anything better, isn't it?
I fail to see where you have taught her anything yet, Miss Sullivan.
I'll begin right this minute if you leave the room, Captain Keller.
Leave the room.
Everyone, please.
Miss Sullivan, you are here only as a paid teacher, nothing more. And not to lecture me.
I can't unteach her 6 years of pity if you can't stand up to one tantrum. Old Stonewall, indeed. Mrs. Keller, you promised me help.
Oh, yes, indeed I did. We truly want to. It's just, this is so unnecessary.
Leave me alone with her. Now!
Katie, will you come outside with me? At once, please?
Heavens! Sake, please!
If it takes all summer, General.
This girl, this cobbler girl, presumes! I tell you, I'll have to mind to ship her back to Boston before the week is out. You can't inform her so from me.
Aye, Captain.
She's a hireling! I want to clear. Unless there's an apology and a complete change of manner, she goes back on the next train. Will you make that quite clear?
Where will you be while I am making it quite clear?
At the office!
Will you? I thought what you said was exceptionally intelligent. I've been saying it for years.
To his face?
coming, and I didn't get them breakfast dishes out of there yet.
You run along, Martha.
I can't wait out here a minute longer, Kate. Why, this could go on all afternoon, too.
I'll tell the captain you called.
You hear what Miss Kate say? Never you mind what's going on here. You run along and tend to your own business. Shoo! You say what you like, Kate, but that child is a Keller. And I need to remind you that all Kellers are cousins to General Robert E. Lee. I don't know who that girl is. The only Sullivan I've heard of, and from Boston, too. And I think twice before locking her up with that kind is that man, John L. You give me her, Miss Kate. I'll sneak her in back to a crib.
This child never gives me a minute's worry.
Oh, yes, this one's the angel of the family. No question about that.
What happened?
She ate from her own plate. She ate with a spoon herself, and she folded her napkin.
Folded a napkin?
The room's a wreck, but her napkin is folded. I'll be in my room, Mrs. Keller.
Jump along, Miss Annie. We'll have supper right away.
Folded a napkin. My Helen folded a napkin.
This blind, deaf, mute woman. Can nothing be done to disinter this human soul? The whole neighborhood would rush to save this woman if she were buried alive by the caving in of a pit, and labor with zeal until she were dug out. Now, if there were one who had as much patience as zeal, he might awaken her to a consciousness of her
Annie? Annie, you there? Annie? What's that noise?
Just a cot to me,
Where did they push it?
to the dead house.
Annie? Does it hurt? Are you dead?
There's schools outside. Schools where they climb words to read and write. Schools outside where they
When are you going to school, are you, Annie?
When I grow up,
When are Annie? You say you take care of me.
I'm going to school when I grow up.
You said we'll be together. Forever and ever and ever.
I'm going to school when I grow up.
Little girl, I must tell you, your brother will be going on a journey soon.
Hey!
Goodbye, Annie.
Write me when you learn how.
Don't tell anyone you came from. Yeah, don't tell anyone you came from.
Yeah, don't tell
anyone.
Annie, it hurts too bad. Well,
He might awaken her to a consciousness of her immortal nature. The chance is small indeed, but with a smaller chance they would have dug desperately for her in the pit. And is the life of the soul of less import than that of the body?